What's up, my dudes? Deegan down bad in Detroit, boys. He down bad. Oh. Whoo. Gnarly first corner pile up. Absolutely demolished Haiden Deegan going into the first corner along with like half of the field. All right. Basically what happened was, I believe it was Mika Duty that ran into Vialle, and then Vialle ran into Deegan, and then Deegan ran into whoever, and then that guy ran into the next guy, and then that guy hit the next guy. You know, that kind of a thing happened in the first corner. And then after they get back up, Deegan's like frustrated, bike's absolutely mangled, you know, handlebars bent down. He's like waving his hand up to the guy one lap. Then he flips the guy off like 2 laps later. Pretty sure he was giving the bird to Vialle, which I don't even believe was the originator of the guy that caused the crash, really. You know, so kind of getting mad at the wrong guy, I think, on top of all that. But yeah, Deegan ends up getting 16th place in the main event. He qualified 8th. Of course, you know, this wrist, quote-unquote, injury that he claims to be just a sprain, but then why would you hide it? I don't know. It's just a big mystery out here, right? We still don't really know what's going on with this injury thing. Of course, he looked good in that heat race. He almost caught up to win the heat race. So he looked good there, right? Kind of weird how they interviewed, you know, second place in the heat race. I feel like they kind of never do that. But, you know, Deegan, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. He's in the back. Bike's mangled. He couldn't even ride the bike, basically, is what happened there. I figured he would have caught way far back up, you know, had the bike not been mangled. But that's just sometimes those sort of luck of the draw kind of things in Supercross that a lot of people don't take into account, or they don't think can happen until all of a sudden they're happening. You know, whether it's a bike malfunction or it's just one of those crazy first corner pile-ups, bro. Swincy boy out here riding like Deegan. Deegan had a couple close calls in that heat race too, you know, but that's just kind of his style. It really wasn't like Deegan did anything wrong down the start, and I don't even think anybody else did either. If I'm just being honest here, I really don't. I know some Deegan fanboys probably blame the dudes or whatever, but I'm really leaning more towards this was just that sometimes you have those first corner pile-ups like that, racing incident kind of pile-ups, when you put 22 dudes, you know, on the gate going into that first corner at the same time. That's more like the way I look at it, right? And also, you got to think, this is one of those things, you know, Deegan getting really upset, really mad, flipping the dude off. I don't know who the hell he was flipping off. At one point, it looked like he was giving the bird to the stadium, like some dude up there sipping his tea, eating his popcorn. I don't know, but he needed to get his hand back on the handlebars that were bent down to the dirt, you know what I'm saying? That probably would have helped him out a little more than just getting that frustrated about it. He's giving me some of those weird vibes when he starts flipping the dude off after this first corner crash. I didn't see anybody else that was involved in that crash feeling the need to go out there and flip the dude off and get all pissed off on the track like, what the fuck, bro? You know, Deegan just needs to be very careful. I understand he's still young, but he needs to be very careful and not go down these same roads like what Jet Lawrence has went down, where they start to put off this vibe like they are entitled or they deserve more. For instance, this crash was just one of those kind of crashes that just happens from time to time. It wasn't necessarily somebody doing something real stupid. I mean, it's like Deegan sitting there flipping. I think he flipped off the wrong guy to begin with, but just him getting that mad about really just something that happens in first corners in Supercross races from time to time. It's literally just a part of it, bro. You are not special, bro. Like, that's the kind of vibe he's already putting off. You know, you wonder why certain people say certain things about Deegan or Jet Lawrence. It's because they put that kind of vibe off. Like, they just shouldn't, there should never be a single possible bad luck thing that should ever happen to them, or it's somebody else's fault. And oh my God, that, you know, they don't deserve that. It's just like a weird thing. I don't know. That's just something I'm noticing. Just Deegan needs to be real careful about that. You don't want to start playing that sort of vibe, you know, getting people thinking a certain way about you, or you'll turn into a Jet Lawrence in that whole sort of situation where you start grabbing helmets just for a guy racing you. Okay, that's very reminiscent to that. To have a first corner pile up, just a racing incident, really, and half the field gets piled up, and you're the only one out there feeling the need to flip the bird. Jordan Belfort, you're the only one that feels the need to do that. AKA, you think you're something special. You think you're something above everybody else out there. Like, you don't deserve to have something like that happen to the almighty Haiden Deegan. You know, that's the kind of, I'm just telling you, bro, that's the kind of vibe you're starting to put off. I understand getting frustrated. I get it. You know, it sucks because you got a lot of hype, a lot of expectation on you, but you got to understand, too, that kind of stuff does just happen from time to time. It happens to all of them. Happens to the best of them, right? So we'll probably see a much better Haiden Deegan in the next East Coast round. But as far as championship this year, it's looking a little bit grim because there is some competition there. Hymas is up there. You know, Forkner, he's holding off the crashing so far. I think Hammaker and Mikaduty both crashed. Jet Reynolds, collarbone injury in practice. Jeremy Martin, oh shit, man. Can't forget about that. Major crash in the whoops, hit his head. You know, so even though it didn't bite like Forkner, it certainly bit a lot of the other guys that we keep seeing having trouble in that 250 class. So, who knows? Maybe some of these other guys have a little bit of misfortune and Deegan starts to get on a roll and then he can catch back up. I don't know. Certainly possible. I just know a 16th in the first round when you already have some kind of an injury coming in certainly is not the best way to come out of there. I mean, I guess it's better than no points, but, you know, Deegan should have been looking more for like a top 10 there at least. But again, that's just part of those sort of, you know, luck-based, luck of the draw things when you put 22 guys on a gate. I wouldn't even say this was wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, it was on the start straight. Like, everybody's going for the start. It's Deegan, you know, he's going to be on a gate that's for a good start, just like Daxton and some of them other guys, they're all trying to go for it. It just so happened to bite Deegan, man. Major crash. I don't think he hurt himself anymore on it or anything. He got lucky in that sense. Things could be a lot worse. Either way, man, bad luck for Deegan, 16th place. Not what I feel like a lot of people thought was going to happen. So now we got to wait like another 2 weeks before we see what Deegan's really all about. I feel like one out of every, I don't know, 10 main events or so, you'll have that sort of crazy pile up like that for no good reason. It just sort of happens.